So I gave this talk at YAPC 2001. Yeah, that was I also have some talks from 99 and 100, but this one I thought was probably be more interesting. The other two were about Mac Perl. This one is about slash, which is the code that runs slash dot. All right, so who I was. This isn't really who I am. This is who I was. I was on the slash core team at Slashdot. I was the maintainer of Mac Perl. I wrote the Perl news column in the Perl journal, and I ran Use Perl, which was a Perl site that ran the slash code. And so slash, it started out as chips and dips. That was this Slashdot's first incarnation. And eventually, soon after that, they changed the name to Slashdot. They were bought by Andover.net, which is when I joined, which was around 2000. January 2000, I think. We open sourced the code, trying to balance community needs and the Slashdot needs. Then VA Linux bought Andover.net, and Andover.net became OSDN, which included Fresh Meat, SourceForge, ThinkGeek, Slashdot, Linux.com. So this is probably the most interesting part here. This is the first version of a function called poll booth. This is before I got there. So some things to notice. DBH right here, that's a global. We have our SQL right there, just above our printing of, It's really bad. Yeah. Oh yeah. So I got. So then when I first got there, we did some cleanup. We got rid of some globals. I created this thing called $I, and that's like, we're not going to use globals, but it was going to take a while. So we took these globals and we put them in this global hash and accessed them that way instead. Cleaned things up. We added this thing right here, strip by mode. That's to actually protect data, so we're not just shooting ourselves in the foot or allowing our users to shoot us in the foot, which they try to do often. So we cleaned it up. We had changed the SQL function so things were more modular, and then we're like, okay, now we've cleaned it up. Now let's actually make it good. So no more globals. We get the current database. We put the display layer. It used template toolkit, and slash display did the toolkit stuff, which was really cool. We actually stored our templates in the database, and I wrote a template toolkit provider layer to pull the right template out of the database and cache it. It would compile it, because those of you who use template toolkit, you can actually compile those templates. They compile to Perl code. So we would compile it, cache it. Everything would be in the database there. And we also had cool stuff where we could actually call our slash API from inside a template. This is all just, here's how you make old code not suck so much. That's all that's talking about. Let's see. Let's go ahead here. Oh yeah, here's an example template right here. So this is template toolkit stuff. You can see right here, we can actually call any of our database methods, get news stories, get section from right inside the template. We also modularized the database calls because we had users, because we'd open source, we had users who wanted to use Postgres, we used MySQL, some wanted to use Oracle, so we took a lot of the MySQLisms out. And we did a lot of really cool stuff. And I don't know what my time looks like, but I know that I'm probably at least halfway done. So we also had some stuff about installing, because again, we had external users. So so we made installation easier. Eventually, fast forward several years from this, eventually we didn't have much of a user base and we stopped pushing out updates to it, but it was fun while it lasted. Thank you.